And then advertisements for full-time faculty positions shall clearly state if the position is an annual contract or is eligible for continuing contract. And then C, faculty hired for a full-time continuing contract position may opt for an annual contract. So if that is something that a faculty member prefers to have an annual contract, they can opt for that. D was from the previous proposal, faculty members awarded a continuing contract do not require annual nomination or reappointment. Faculty hired in annual limited contract positions may be offered eligibility for continuing contracts. So maybe if the person doesn't return from FMLA or the grant funded position ends up being permanent, they could be offered that eligibility. Limited contract faculty are entitled to all benefits of faculty membership and employment. An annual limited term contract shall not create an expectancy of employment beyond the term of the contract. Non-renewal of an annual contract shall not entitle the person to the reasons for non-renewal or to a hearing, and that was from the previous proposal. Then any questions about that? Okay. Section 10.2, continuing contract. So this is, almost all of it is just copied and pasted from Administrative Rule 6A.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just the state statute for continuing contract. We did add the peer review committee that would make the recommendation to the president. That's D. F, we added the academic dean shall discuss the faculty member's progress towards the continuing contract at East Post Evaluation Conference. So everybody's on the same page. And then it has the board rule for continuing or dismissal. We took out the details of the portfolio. So this will make it kind of more flexible. Maybe we can collaboratively come up with some guidelines for portfolio. It keeps the peer review committee. So that's really important that we have people, our peers reviewing the portfolio, but the specifics of the portfolio will be a little bit more flexible. It just says the guidelines and what it'll be evaluated on based on the state statute, the administrative rule code. And then H and section 10.3 talk about recertification. We also simplified this. Once you get continuing contract, you have your recertification, and you don't need to be recertified that 5-year period. And then after 10 years, so 5 years later, you would need to do 90 hours of professional development. We just simplified it as that, 90 hours of professional development every 5 years after the original issuance of continuing contract.
Was there a reason for the 90? How did you end up with the 90?
It was 6 graduate credits, I think. Isn't that the number that is now? So
That's what's in the requirements now for research,
Every 5 years?
every 5 years,
yeah,
90 hours.
and there's a lot of description of the what hours account towards what, but it's not. We don't need to include that in the contract necessarily. All right, Article 11 was benefits. We accepted the changes. I think Dr. Pili just simplified it.
Yes.
It was kind of repetitive, so the language is more clear now. All right, 11.3 benefits during summer. So I think, Teresa, if you want to make sure I got the clarification from last time. So right now, faculty have been recommended and approved for employment. We'll get your benefits over the summer. Then faculty not returning in the fall who submit a resignation by May 31st will receive pay and benefits over the summer. Full-time faculty who have not submitted a resignation by May 31st shall be fully responsible for all summer premiums that would have been otherwise covered by the college. Is that clarification accurate?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's great. That's great. Leaves of absence, or just leave, we were waiting for the changes to the board rule. When will that be lodged, and when will that, those definitions be written out?
It was lodged as the last one. It would be coming back for comment and final review in the January one.
And I couldn't find that in the agenda.
I
It's
apologize.
on that, we'll make sure it gets out to you.
And I did see your email, but I was working on payroll for
Okay,
this last week. It was a little bit crazy, so I have it and I will forward it to you. I have the
Okay.
online version.
okay,
May I ask for your
Yes.
verbal assurance that no changes have been made to the current forms of leave that we now have? Have there
No
been any kind of
changes, no.
changes?
We have added on 2 new leave types,
Okay.
which are civil air patrol and domestic violence leave, which are required by Florida statute. And they read exactly as it's in the Florida statute. And then we added on another leave that's called bereavement leave, but it's not really a new leave. It's just clarifying that you can use your sick leave, that's how, under sick leave, it already says you can use it for a death in the family. But we have so many questions that come up that we title it as bereavement leave, but it's not a separate leave type. It indicates which different leaves you can use for the purpose of bereavement.
okay.
Thank you.
And then the personal leave, that's not in here. Oh, okay, we'll wait for the personal leave is still there, right?
Well, personal is not a separate leave type, truly. Personal leave comes from your sick leave bank. And it's under Florida statute as well. If you want, we can reflect it in here. What the personal leave, all it says is that out of your sick leave, you could use up to 4 days, 32 hours towards personal leave, towards personal reasons that you don't have to be sick for.
Okay. And does state law allow that to accrue?
No,
No, okay. Is that, it says right there, 101.2.865, is that
well,
the Florida statute?
yes, that is Florida statute. Thank you.
All right, faculty rights.
Actually, there's a typo in there. It says statute instead of statutes.
Ah, Florida statutes. All right, faculty rights. In academic freedom, section 13.1, we just changed tenure to continuing contract to reflect the language. And then we added back 1 and 2, which are pretty similar. A faculty member is entitled to freedom in independent research. A faculty member is entitled to freedom in the devising and selecting of teaching strategies. And we put supplementary educational materials for their courses. And then in 3, we added the department shall determine the required course materials with CAA approval, which is, I believe, our current policy. So just to clarify what materials we can use in our classes that we have the freedom to choose about. Then number 4, we accept the addition from the college. 13.2, right to privacy, we added A back, but just simplified it. And then B, we kept the no random drug tests, which I believe the administration was open to. .3, safe workplace, we accepted that. 13.5, the personnel files, we added that back, that had been deleted. This might need some updating, but we just wanted to be sure that things that are private in your personnel file remain private. So we put that back. And that's the end.
Transfers.
There's a space there. Okay, so transfers, we put these back. This is similar, this is the same as what we had proposed for Article 13 earlier in the year. With, the main thing would be, if an administrator, or if a position opens up at a college location, that will be announced to full-time faculty. So there's been plenty of times where someone resigns, someone retires, and the other faculty don't know that position is open, and then they have to apply with the general applicant pool for that job, and then they get the job, and then their old campus has an opening, and it would just be a lot easier if that person could just transfer, and then the interviews would go from the person that's transferring campus. Because right now, though, vacancies are not announced to our full-time faculty. I've transferred campuses twice. I went from North Campus to Spring Hill and Spring Hill to Porter. And both those times, the faculty member who was leaving told me personally that they were leaving. And then I asked the dean if I could move. But that has not happened for all faculty who want to move. They might live near a different campus.
So right now, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out the
Sure.
process. So right now, if a faculty, let's say North is retired, so if I'm a faculty and I have to get that, I have to reapply to that campus?
If you know before, if you get the information magically, before the position is advertised, then you can request a transfer. If the position is advertised for a North Campus, you have to interview for it. And then the Spring Hill vacancy, which would then happen because you moved over there, has to be advertised. And this creates a big time crunch. It's just
No,
not
that's
efficient.
not, why would you interview if you've already been hired full-time?
Because they advertise it to be at North Campus, so they don't want to tell the applicants that now will be at Spring Hill campus or whatever the campus is.
We'll have to stop that.
Yeah,
I just
think
have
we
to
can sort
understand the
that out.
process.
Some,
Yeah,
some of
sure.
that, Professor Gotti, as you know, may be tied to our previous
Yeah,
organizational structure.
Under
Okay.
the
Where we
new,
had provost at each campus.
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
under the new system, I don't think
Yeah,
it will be
okay.
going forward.
sure.
It's just,
Yeah, but there needs to be a clear
Yes.
procedure of notification and requesting. How much?
If I can
Yeah.
interject, just every week, every vacancy goes out to all employees. So all of those, they go out every single week. It's like clockwork.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something that can be incorporated within that where you potentially you can still open it up for advertising, so it doesn't hold up the process. But maybe you, at the interview set level, then you could potentially get those for the internal candidates first. I don't know, this proposal's to not hold up the process, because if you don't have any internal candidates, then you've delayed advertising for several weeks,
Right.
which is, especially if it's midsummer, it can be very, detrimental to delay advertising.
I got
Just something for
Yeah.
consideration in that regard, as opposed to creating a whole new process.
Okay. Oh, okay, well, how long? Yeah, okay.
Good, one more thing I did see on the front page, you changed the dates on there.
Yes,
So-
because it's the end of 25. We have one more month, and then it's Christmas break.
Okay.
So I'm assuming this will get signed in 2026.
Well, yeah.
No, but it's still going by the academic year,
Oh,
not the fiscal
okay.
year.
So, but this is
It doesn't have
academic.
to be an academic year, I don't believe, I think it could just be a calendar year.
Oh, yeah, we're going by calendar year, yeah.
Alright,
Right?
we need to take the caucus.
How long?
I know, we have a lot.
Yeah, you have a lot to talk about.
I don't know if we'll be able to go through all of this.
You want to say 30 minutes for now?
Yeah,
We can do that.
we can do it now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just come back. You can stay here and
Yeah.
we'll be around the corner, I guess.